Hello everyone and welcome back. We're gonna have a look-see at the Gnome starting area. So here we go.
Given the recent political upheaval in Ironforge, the gnomes have suddenly found themselves unwelcomed guests within the city. Leveraging their ingenious technologies and unquenchable spirit for adventure, the gnomes have begun to reevaluate their role within Cosmodan. Under the inventive leadership of High Tinker Gelbin Mechatork, the gnomes now plan a daring campaign against the barbarous Trogs to retake their former capital of Gnomregon. With the odds stacked against them, the gnomes are counting on brave heroes such as you to stand and be counted. Your people's greatest hour draws near.
Why is there stuff happening? Irradiated. Hopefully I'm not gonna have radiation poisoning.
Can I help you?
My name is Nevin Westretch, and I'm the commander of the Survivor Assistance Facilitation Expedition, or SAFE. I don't know how you managed to survive the radiation down here, Jib, but most of the others haven't fared so well. My team is rounding up the survivors, but the radiation-addled leper gnomes are too numerous for us to hold back much longer. They've lost their minds. If you're still strong enough to wield a weapon or cast a spell, would you help us clear out some of these leper gnomes?
Seeing you. Greetings.
Okay, so my gnome starts off with a gun. That's interesting.
I don't have a target.
Also, I have to go again.
Salutations.
Well done, Jeb. My men can't take it from here. Let's focus on getting the other survivors out now.
Right.
I'm going to start preparing my men to leave this place. We can't hold out here any longer. I want you to move to a forward position in the middle of the large room ahead. You should find Carvo Blastbolt. He'll give you further instructions. Good luck, Jib. And I'll see you on the surface.
Daylight's burning. Hey.
Did Nevin send you ahead? That means he's getting ready to end the mission. But there are still survivors to be rescued. We have to help them.
You have a great day now.
If we don't do something quick, neither Nevin nor the survivors will make it out of here alive. I'm going to give you my squad's emergency teleport beacon. We still have enough strength and ammunition to fight our way out of here. Those survivors are in no condition to make a run for it. Use the beacon on survivors to arrange for them to be teleported out of here to the safe area my men have set up. Once you've done that, report back to me and we'll make arrangements to get you out of here.
Off and away.
Whoa. There I go. Wah. Wah. Wah.
Interesting.
I know Nevin will be pleased with all the survivors you managed to help. I still can't believe you managed to stay so strong down here in the radiation. You've seen the shape the other survivors are in. Let's get you to the loading room for decontamination.
Be seeing you.
Excellent job gathering the other survivors. They and you are the reason safe teams keep coming down here. Nevin won't rest until we've found and rescued every possible survivor. I'm sending my men to the loading room to prepare for decontamination. Please follow them and meet up with Gaffer Coil Spring. When you arrive, she'll set you up for decontamination and have you on your way to the surface.
You have a great day now.
Can I help you?
It's good to meet you, Hunter. We'll rarely come across survivors as strong and capable as you are. I can help get you decontaminated and on your way out of here.
Be seeing you.
You've been down here in Gnome Regan for a long time, Jed. And it's amazing that you've survived and kept your wits so long. We need to get you out. Before we can send you to the surface to join the rest of the gnomes, you have to go through the decontamination process. Just head into the next room and board the Sanitron 500. It will do the rest. It shouldn't even hurt much. When you're all done, check in with Technician Braggle, and he'll make sure you get some suitable gear.
Goodbye now.
Commencing decontamination sequence. Ow. Decontamination complete. Stand by for delivery. Warning, system overload. Oh fuck it, imminent. Ah.
Can I help you?
There now. You're fit to head off to the surface and start your new life. The High Tinker will be delighted to hear of your arrival.
Right.
Nevin has just sent word that he and his men are making their way to the surface. He'll be waiting for you in the building that Safe has established as its headquarters. See Torben Zaplast over there? Talk to him when you're ready to head to the surface, and you'll arrange to have you transported up there. It's been a pleasure meeting you, Jib, and I'm honored to have played a small role in helping you escape from Gnome Regan to start your life on the surface.
Daylight's burning.
Honored, I'm sure.
Pleased to meet you.
It's good to see you again, Jeb. Without your help, we wouldn't have been able to get so many survivors out of Gnome Regan this time. Everyone is going to be thrilled to meet you and hear your story.
Be seeing you.
It's a victory for us every time we're able to help another survivor escape from the contaminated halls of Gnome Regan. Follow me, Jeb. No, I don't want to follow you. I'm trying to read. Hunters like you will play an important role in an important part in the future of Gnome Regan. To that end, our leader, High Tinker Mechatrok, has assembled a team of trainers to help you learn your arts. Mechatork. That kind of sounds like a villain from like Ratchet and Clank. Muffinus Chrombrew will help oversee your training and adjustment to life on the surface. He's waiting for you on the stands across the road.
Off and away.
Whoa, you're tall. So, where am I? Ah, this is a different starting area than what I thought it would be.
Can I help you?
For a gnome who has spent so much time inside Gnome Regan, you look positively fit and healthy, Jeb. That's good. Before we can complete what Operation Gnome Regan began, we're going to need more hunters like you.
You have a great day now.
I don't know if you'll remember Metatorque or not. Niven tells me that memory loss is pretty common for a Gnome Regan survivor. Metatorque, or more properly, the High Tinker Metatorque, is the leader of all the gnomes. He has made a habit of meeting with every rescued survivor personally. You should introduce yourself to him. He'll be with his war council, beneath the tent in the center of town.
Be seeing you.
Wait, you call this the center of town? This doesn't really feel like the center. Hello.
Is there something on your mind?
It's good to meet you, Jeb. You've probably heard how they're speaking of Operation Gnome Regan. Let me tell you a bit about what happened and why we left that dwarven city of Ironforge.
Remember, safety first.
The dwarves of Ironforge kindly took us in when the Trog invasion and radiation forced us to leave Gnome Regan for the first time. But even the kindness of friends can't quell the longing for home. I sent out a call for brave gnomes and other members of the Alliance to help us regain control of Gnome Regan and defeat the usurper, Thermoplug, once and for all. We weren't able to achieve everything Operation Gnome Regan set out to do, but Thermoplug is on the run and we're closer to home than ever.
Never reject an idea out of hand. We assembled a mighty force and defeated Thermoplug's servants, fighting our way into the city. But the usurper Thermoplug had one last trick up his sleeve. It's too quiet. Where are Thermoplug's defense forces? It's a trap! That's a fully functional irradiator!
Irradiator 3000 activated. Attention, emergency. You now have 10 minutes to reach minimum safe distance.
10 minutes? Ha! Plenty of time to disarm the device. Hinkles, hand me that whirring bronze gizmo and some fresh spring water. Cogspin, toss me that dirty trog cloth and a handful of copper bolts.
10 minutes? You left the factory setting on? Give me that control. Attention, emergency. You now have...
Whoa! We've got to get out of here! Lapforge, beam us back, quickly! No, we were forced to retreat. Thermoplug continues to hide behind the radiation, sending his crony Crushcog to harass us here on the surface. Well, fancy seeing you here.
Even now, only the safe teams dare to venture far into the city to search for survivors. Meanwhile, Thermoplug has sent one of his followers, Crushcog, to distract us and buy time for him to dig in.
For Nobragon.
We will need all the weapons, inventions, and soldiers we can get in order to defeat Razlo Crushcog and his followers. Over to the northeast, you'll find Engineer Grinspark, one of a few generation of brilliant gnomish minds. Why, he hasn't had an explosion in over 3 prototypes. But enough bragging. Engineer Grinspark is working on a bot that he says will help clean up the toxic airfield. You should introduce yourself to him and see if he needs any help testing it.
Perseverance is the true blueprint to success.
That's a pole I just ran into. Oh wait, I'm going up here.
Greetings.
Have I really been going for 7 hours? Damn. After I do the starting zone, finish the starting zone, I think I'll wrap up for now and go grab something to eat. So Mecha Torque himself has heard of my little project. Splendid. I've almost finished my last prototype. My latest prototype. But maybe you can help me chase down those last few parts.
You have a great day now.
There's just too much to do around here and too few gnomes on their feet to help. The Eye Tinker has asked me to start converting some of our old boots and bots and parts from Operation Gnome Region. I hope to have a new line of multi-bots ready for a field test soon. I don't suppose you'd have some time to help me, do you? There are all kinds of parts scattered around. Pick up anything you find and bring it back to me. You never know what could turn out to be useful.
Daylight's burning.
Like a rock? I guess that wasn't a rock. I just realized I have 4 fingers.
Salutations.
Did you get those parts?
Right.
These are fantastic. Let's see what we can put together. Would you be interested in testing out the prototype once I'm done?
Be seeing you.
The multi-bot works, it will help us do all kinds of jobs that are unpleasant or dangerous for us gnomes. After Thermoplug detonated his irradiator at the end of Operation Gnome Region, toxic clouds and ooze began bubbling up at the old airfield south of town. After Thermoplug detonated his... Something just exploded. Okay. If we don't get it under control, the contamination could spread to the rest of our lands. Take that multi-bot with you and bring it close to the geysers and the green pools at the toxic airfield. Your bot should spring into action.
You have a great day now. Interesting.
Most of us have seen the sickly and deranged gnomes suffering from exposure to the poisons and radiation of Gnome Region. Eventually, they will devolve further until they become mindless, but mostly harmless, puddles of toxic sludge. My research suggests that we may even be able to restore them from this state. Go to the toxic airfield to the south. Subdue the toxic sludge I told you about and bring back the possessions of the gnomes they once were.
Right. Pleased to meet you.
Tux! Bryce Sprocket has some crazy theory about these toxic sludges being the last remnants of gnomes, so my men have orders not to engage them for now. However, the toxic airfield just south of us is teeming with living contamination. There are elementals composed of contaminated water and other toxic materials. Left unchecked, they'll overrun the town. Will you help us dispose of them?
Off and away. I need a target. I don't have a target. I need a target.
Alright.
Can I help you?
What a relief. Thank you for your help. I hope that gadget engineer Grinspark was working on helped get the airfield cleaned up permanently.
Daylight's burning.
Oh damn, I just unlocked a whole bunch of shit.
Hey. Be seeing you.
Can't wait to give this new technology a try. We've lost more gnomes to radiation than we can count. It's time to turn that around.
Right.
Father spent years working on a cure for leper gnomes. Using his notes, I think I've perfected a process for restoring gnomes who've devolved to sludge. Give this a try. Goggles, everyone. What happened to me? Absolutely amazing. We've done it. Sure, he's a little small, even by gnome standards, but he's all there. The question is, what will he remember? Don't talk about me like I'm not here. He exploded.
Salutations!
Well, back don't need to blow up. Damn. Well, I never expected it to work on the first trial. I mean, we've succeeded. I wonder what other uses we can find for this handy little guy.
Daylight's burning.
For Gnomragon.
Cataclysm tore open deep caves beneath Frostmane Hold, and Trogs flooded out of their warrens. They succeeded in displacing the trolls who used to live there, and they stand to drive us out if we do not act. I, Tinker Mechatork, hired the renowned demolitionist Carmarn Palegrip to close the caves and stem the Trog advance. We've received no word about whether he was able to stop the Trogs. Do you look for him at his camp near Frostmane Hold, to the south beyond the toxic airfield? Why, certainly. Should see if I could tame an animal here. Hello there, my new friend. Let's move these things around here. I don't know why I have two of these out. Alright. I am going over here.
You got my attention.
Would be tough to collapse the tunnel, but I'm going to need my team and my equipment before I can get the task.
Off with you.
See in action.
See you soon.
For a job like this, I normally bring me whole crew of demolitionists with some help in setting up the powder and the torches and the rest of the gear. The job gets done a lot faster. Those blasted Trogs have me men caged all around Frostmane Hold. Now I'm here all alone without the personnel I need to finish the job. You look like a capable hunter. Though would you find the demolitionists the Trogs captured and break them out of their cages?
Safe travels. Watch your back.
It's going to take a lot of powder to collapse those caves. I don't know whether the damnable Trogs understood that when they stole me supplies and kidnapped me demolitionists, but the outcome's the same. Ain't gonna be able to blow nothing up until I've got that powder back. Go south to Frostmane Hold and kill any of the Trogs you find. Any one of them could be carrying me kegs of powder.
Off with you.
I don't have a target.
Not sure why these two have the same picture. Kind of confused me for a moment, actually. Is that a dead troll there? Oh, it is.
I need a target. I don't have a target. I need a target.
Oh, a lot of dead trolls here. Shouldn't they be finding prisoners or something?
I don't have a target. I need a target.
I guess not. I'm guessing this is just powder. So let's get out of here. This is the last place I really want to be at. I have gotten myself into some deep voodoo.
I don't have a target. I need a target.
Great to meet you. Safe travels.
Yeah, me on, thanks. And the thanks of the men you rescued. I've already had the boys start setting up the gear down inside the cave. It should be ready to go soon.
Watch your back. See you soon.
Well, now that's more like it. We may get around to blowing up something after all.
Safe travels.
The team has finished setting up the powder kegs and the detonator at the bottom of the cave in the western part of the Frostbane hold. All you need to do is venture down there and activate the detonator and explode the powder to collapse those tunnels. That'll stop the flow of trogs from the deep parts of the earth. Mechatwerk will have an easier time of dealing with the remaining trogs if you can take out their leader who calls himself Boss Brogor. Good luck, Jib.
See you soon.
not what I thought it was. There's no cover there. I'm too fast for you. Can't catch this old gnome.
What's on your mind?
You can feel the explosion way up here. My boys did a fine job rigging up that blast, but it wouldn't have happened without your help. It's only fair that I split my contract payment with you for helping me finish the job.
Watch your back.
Well, it's time to start backing up and moving on to the next job. There's always something else to blow up out there. Somewhere there's a mountain needs moving or a gorge that needs carving, and I'll be there to do it. I don't suppose you'd do me one more favor. Would you take this report back to I Tinker Mechatork in New Tinkertown? He needs to know that the Trogs won't be bothering his people again anytime soon.
Off with you.
That's the wrong thing. There we go.
When in doubt, plan it out. I'm counting on you.
Splendid news. With the Trogs taken care of, we should be able to turn our attention to Crush Cog's troublemaking.
Never reject an idea out of hand.
Our old enemy, Thermoplug, is doing his best to keep us from rebuilding and finishing our reclamation of Gnome Regan. He sent one of his most loyal henchmen, Razlo Crushcog, and a force of irradiated gnomes to harry us. They've taken over an old arsenal up the road to the north, and Crushcog's technicians are repairing those weapons. We have to stop them before they're able to get those mechano tanks back online. Go to Crushcog's arsenal and eliminate as many of the technicians as you can.
Perseverance is the true blueprint to success.
Wait a minute. I missed something.
Greetings.
You've lost more than a couple scouts. Oh, we've lost more than a couple scouts trying to find out what exactly Razlo Crushcog's plans to do with all those mechano tanks his rated technicians are repairing. We can't afford to take it slowly anymore. We must act before Crushcog turns his followers and his weapons on us. This techno grenade packs enough explosive power to destroy the mechano tanks and deny Crushcog their use. Take it north and with you along the road to Crushcog's arsenal and take out those tanks.
Off and away.
Here's those tanks.
I
So
need
is
to
this-
get closer.
Okay.
I'm out of range. I don't have a target. It's too far away. I need a target. I'm out of range. I don't have a target. I need a target.
There's always time to tinker.
That should set back Crushcog's plan a bit. But we can't rest until he's defeated and Chill Breeze Valley is secure.
Thorn!
10 minutes. You left the factory setting on.
What am I seeing that
Give me
again?
the controller, you idiot!
Hey,
Mechatwark will be pleased to hear that you've ruined Crushcog's plans to use our old weapons for his followers. Without the Meccano tanks under his command, he'll be weak and vulnerable.
you have a great day now.
New orders?
Well, High Tinker Mechatwark, his military advisors, and I finalized the plans for the attack on Raslo Crushcog. I've sent my assistant ahead to Brunol Village to begin preparations. To get to Brunol Village, follow the roads at least. Once you arrive, find Jarvy's Shadow Step. Okay, our dwarven cousins have dispatched a cadre of mountaineers from Ironforge to join us.
I'll be waiting.
So, didn't I see another quest thing? Guess not.
Pleased to meet you.
Ah, yes. Kelsey told me to expect you. There's still much to do before we can take on Crushcog.
Off and away.
We have reliable intelligence that Raslo Crushcog has taken up a defensive position on the island in the middle of frozen Iceflow Lake. To make matters worse, he surrounded himself with a network of sentry bots that will detect any possible attackers. If we're to take on Crushcog, we'll need to take out those sentries. This device launches a dark, sticky paint that will coat the optical sensors of Crushcog's sentry bots. Use it to take out his early warning system.
Be seeing you.
I need to get closer.
Okay. Aren't I setting them off anyways?
Salutations!
You've given us just the opening we'll need to get the drop on Crushcog. Excellent work, Jib.
Right.
Our cousins, the dwarfs of Ironforge, have agreed to help us in the battle against Raslo Crushcog. Out near Stonegrind is a veteran who knows Dune Morog well. He and High Tinker Makatork stand ready on a small snow-covered island in Iceflow Lake to the north. Meet up with them there and let the High Tinker know when you are ready to face the traitor.
Daylight's burning.
Huh. Okay. Give me a nod.
Got something to report?
I'm ready to start.
I'm counting on you. Mechgineer Thermoplug refuses to acknowledge that his defeat is imminent. He has sent Raslo Crushcog to prevent us from rebuilding our beloved Gnome.
Jib has thwarted his plans.
Let's send him crawling back to his master in defeat!
I don't have a target.
You! How did you escape detection by my sentry bot? No matter.
I didn't.
My guardians and I will make short work of you. To arms, men!
Mechator Cannon! Mechatork Missiles!
Okay.
We've done it! We are victorious! With Crushcog defeated, Thermoplug is sure to be quaking in his mechanotank, and rightly so. You're next, Thermoplug. You're next!
Okay. alone, please.
Can I help you?
We're finally free of Raslo Crushcog and his interference. With the defeat of Crushcog and his forces, Thermoplug can't afford to send any more of his followers to the surface. Can't wait for the day when we defeat him for good.
You have a great day now.
Raslo Crushcog is no more! The people of Ironforge and Nobragon speak with one voice this day! Hear us well, Thermoplug! The day of your defeat approaches!
Is music going to settle down? Some of the mountaineers under Stormgrind's command were telling me about the situation out at Kuranos when the Trogs took over across the main hold. It sounds like the surviving trolls fled westward, deep into the heart of the Dwarven homeland. Now they threaten the Dwarven town of Kuranos. It sounds like they're going to need all the help they can get. You should go to Kuranos and introduce yourself to Captain Theron. Just follow the roadies out of Byrnjolf and keep going until you see the town.
Off and away.
Okay. The music's finally over. Man, that was loud. This is a long walk. What's this quest about?
What can I get for you today?
Oh. Delivery to the inn.
Keep your feet on the ground.
I can do that.
What can I get for you today? Safe travels. See you soon.
These look promising. I've heard great things about the Short and Stout Brewery, but I haven't had the chance to try their ale until now. While you're here, relax a little. If you need to spare a Hearthstone, or wish to make Kuranos your home, just speak to me and I'll be happy to help. Boom.
Be good.
If Gnome Regan Covert Operations is recommending you, then you must have made quite an impression. Your help will be most welcome here, as we have a wealth of enemies and few enough mountaineers to face them. Awesome. So, with the Gnome tutorial out of the way, well, starting area, I am gonna stop for now and get something to eat. So I am really hungry. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.